From the Bronc TV and radio studios at UTPA in Edinburgh, it's the Bronc Sports Report. What's happening, Bronc Nation? We have all your NFL news, plus UTPA has a chance to host an international sports event. But first...
In UTPA men's tennis news, the Broncs recently participated in the Ron Westbrook's Invitational in Beaumont, Texas, and came away victorious. In singles play, sophomore Alejandro Sanoja finished in second place. In doubles play, Sebastian Job and Sanoja finished second. The tennis team returns to action, traveling to Waco for the ITA Regionals held on October 19th. For Bronc Radio Sports, I'm Beatriz Ramirez.
On Friday, October 4th, the UTPA women's volleyball played Seattle University right here at the Fieldhouse. Junior Crystal Freitas led the Broncs with 12 kills and 12 digs, but it wasn't enough as the squad dropped their 5th straight contest. The Broncs will look to bounce back, beginning a 2-game road trip. On Thursday, the team faces the University of Missouri at Kansas City at 7 o'clock in Kansas City. And Saturday, they take on Chicago State in Chicago at 1 p.m. Both games are conference matches and can be seen live at utpabronx.com. For Bronc Radio Sports, I'm Nancy Boteo.
International Hoops. On Wednesday, October 9th, the University of Texas Pan American announced it will host an international exhibition game between NBA D-League champs, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, and the Tampico Huracanes of the Liga Nacional de Baloncesto Profesional. The game takes place on Sunday, November 17th at 3 p.m. at the UTPA Fieldhouse. Admission is free and doors will open at 11 a.m. For Bronc Radio Sports, I am Ivan Herrera.
A whole bunch of high-scoring games this weekend. Get ready, here comes NFL Wrap-Up Week 5. This week kicked off in Cleveland with the Bills and Browns. Both starting QBs Manuel and Hoyer were injured in this one. The Browns walk away 3-2, taking the win 37-24. Saints and Bears, Cutler throwing for 358 yards and 2 scores, and his wideout, Alshon Jeffrey, with 218 yards and a score. Even with the Bears' good passing day, the Saints remain a perfect 5-0 and win it 26-18. Titans and Chiefs, with the starting quarterback Jake Locker out for the Titans, Ryan Fitzpatrick stepped up. He threw for 247 yards, a TD, and 2 picks. Kansas City remains perfect, taking it in Tennessee 26-17. Jaguars and Rams, Jacksonville looking to get their first win. Justin Blackmon trying to make that happen with a highlight day with 135 yards and a TD. But St. Louis was too much and the Jags fall to 0-5 after losing 34-20. The Patriots had a rough day at Cincinnati. The Bengals D was on lockdown and snapped Tom Brady's streak of having a passing touchdown in 52 straight games. The Bengals sealed the win with the Adam Pac-Man Jones interception with 16 seconds left in the game. The final, Bengals 13-6. Continuing talking about bad play, let's move on to the Giants facing the Eagles. The G-men fall to 0-5, even with Vic leaving the game with a hamstring injury. Philly takes it 36-21. The Packers rolled on through the Lions 22-9. The Cardinals topped the Panthers 22-6. A very close game in Miami, hosting Baltimore. Tannehill threw for 307 yards and a TD, but the Ravens steal the win with the Justin Tucker field goal late in the fourth. Baltimore took their talents to South Beach and walk away 3-2, winning it 26-23. San Diego visits the Black Hole Oakland. Phillip Rivers threw for 411 yards, 2 TDs, and 3 picks. Pryor came out with a very efficient game. He went 18 of 23 for 221 yards, 2 TDs, and 0 picks. Chargers had 5 turnovers, while Oakland had 0. Raiders improved to 2-3, taking the W 27-17. A hard game to watch if you're a Houston fan. The 49ers steamrolled the Texans. Schaub's first pass of the night was a pick 6. He threw 3 picks before being replaced by TJ Yates in the fourth. San Francisco moves to 3-2 and wins it 34-3. A very entertaining game with the Colts and Seahawks. Seattle came out with an early lead, but the Colts came back and kept up with Seattle. Colts receiver T.Y. Hilton had 5 receptions for 140 yards and 2 TDs. Andrew Luck in Indianapolis came back in the fourth and snapped Seattle's perfect record. Both teams are 4-1. Colts win it 34-28. The Jets and Falcons, Atlanta trying to avoid going 1-4. The Jets controlled the lead for most of the game, but again, Matty Ice came out in the fourth quarter and gave his team the lead 28-27. But Geno Smith, with a good game with 199 yards and 3 scores, led his team down the field late and put them in position for the game-winning field goal. The Jets take the win 30-28. One of the best games of the season so far. Dallas hosting the Broncos. There was only 1 punt the entire game. Manning threw 33 of 42 with 414 yards, 4 TDs, and his first pick of the season. Peyton also snuck one in on his feet. That's his first rushing touchdown in 5 years. Romo threw 25 of 36 for 506 yards, 5 TDs, and one pick. Romo's late interception put the Broncos in field goal range late in the fourth and allowed the Broncos to stay a perfect 5-0. Denver wins it 51-48. From Bronc Radio Sports, I'm David Sullivan.
Welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Bronc Radio Fantasy Football Minute. Tony Romo had the best fantasy game of his career last week, posting better than 40 points against the Denver Broncos. Up next for Romo is a date with the Washington Redskins, who have surrendered the fourth most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Unless you have an elite option, Romo should be your starter this week. In 2012, Redskins running back Alfred Morris rit Dallas Cowboys defense for 313 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in his 2 meetings against them. The boys have struggled against the run in 2013, giving up an average of 18 fantasy points to opposing running backs. So put Alfred Morris in your starting lineup. Carolina Panthers wideout Steve Smith has not had a great start to the season so far, but he should remain in starting lineups this week with his matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. In 3 of his past 4 games against the Vikes, Smith has posted 100 receiving yards. Niners tight end Vernon Davis hasn't been consistent in the stat sheet, but he still ranks 8th amongst tight ends in fantasy points this season. Davis is a strong start this week against Arizona Cardinals and a defense that has allowed an average of 13 fantasy points per game to opposing tight ends. That's the 4th highest in the league. For Bronc Radio Sports, I'm Javi Guerrero.
Well, that's it for this week's Bronc Report. I would like to thank radio station manager Khadija Zarate, news director Ivan Herrera, and all the radio station staff. And as always, be sure to support your UTPA athletics. Go Bronx!